not a YouTuber, just like making videos. And for a while I've been mute about my stance on homosexuality, keeping my opinions reserved. But I'm going to speak on it today, and I hope nobody gets offended by my little presentation. As a disclaimer, I don't have anything against gays, but I know that's a weak-ass disclaimer. That's just like a white person saying he has nothing against blacks, and then he'll say some shit that'll really offend blacks. So, I'm subscribed to this guy named Walter Lee Hampton the second. I don't know if you're aware of this guy or familiar with him. You know, he's well-known gay YouTuber. When I first subscribed to this guy, when I saw my first video, I liked his views, his political views. I didn't even know he was gay. But when I found out, it wasn't like I pushed the unsubscribe button. I'm still subscribed to him. I like what he has to say, and he does honest and thorough criticism of the gay community, particularly the black gay community. And he talks about how they don't take safe sex seriously, or they don't take the AIDS epidemic with black gay men serious enough. And I know a lot of gays blow smoke up his ass, no pun intended, for his opinion and his critique of the gay community. So check him out. I think he's a very interesting individual. So okay, now I'm going to go into the crevice of my arguments, and I kind of, there was something Twinkie647 said that kind of struck a nerve with me. And no, I'm not calling nobody out. I'm trying to have you know what I'm saying, a little civil argument here. I know I tried to do that with Religious Snitch, and it backfired on me, but I'm not calling anybody out. She said something about homosexuality happens in nature a lot, you know, with the plants, animals, and sections. So I'm like, you already know me, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put that theory to the test. I think, you know what I'm saying, it needs closer examination, you know. It needs further elaborations, you know. You can't just, because I've heard this argument before. Twinkie ain't the first time I heard it. A lot of homosexuals are saying, or people part of the gay movement say that homosexuality happens in nature and so forth. Okay, let's dig in. Homosexuality happens in nature all the time. Well, a lot of things happens in nature and happens with the animals. But we live in a civilized society. We're civilized, you know what I'm saying? Animals are uncivilized, you know, unless we domesticate them. But just because animals are doing it, it don't mean that it means that we can do it. I'm like, I understand the argument. The argument is like, well, is homosexual natural? Because the so-called homophobes are saying homosexuality is not natural. And as I said before, we can say rape, pedophilia, cannibalism, incest, all these are natural. But us in our civilized society, we can determine what we should ban and outlaw, and what we should keep, what would be beneficial to us. We have the authority to punish our murderers. Now, I'm not saying that we should outlaw homosexuality, but I'm just saying using nature as a way to justify, to think you can support your argument, that's weak as fucking hell. So you mean to tell me we're going to use the animal kingdom as a moral compass? I'm like, as much as you can use that argument to support your claims, that argument can also be used against you. It's just like a rapist standing in front of the judge saying, oh, well, you know, animals rape each other. It happens in nature, so I don't think I should be held at a fault. I'm like, no, that's a weak-ass argument. I'm like, how would you like it if I came to your barbecue pulled my pants down and took a shit in front of everybody while they're eating. You know, I could be like, hey, it happens in nature. You know, animals do it. It's completely natural. Our ancestors probably did this. I'm like, no. We live in a civilized society. You know what I'm saying? That's in very bad taste. Like two people having sex, naked people having sex in a park in the open in front of children. That's in bad taste. You get arrested for that. And so forth. Now, so... as I said before, using the animal kingdom and insects as a guideline, no, I'm like, that's the reason why they're animals. I know us human beings are technically animals, but we have the ability to reason. You know, that's a, man, that's a sorry ass fucking argument. You know. Also, people have stated. Also, I want to go into to the homosexual community and the gay supporters. How do you feel about incest? You know, I can say incest is natural. Animals are known to do incest. Like, especially with dogs. I'm like, dogs are so domesticated. There's no way in hell they'll know who their brother is or who their sister is, or if they'll even give a fuck. Or any other animal in the animal kingdom. You think they're worried about, oh, this is my sister over here, you know? And but I know a lot of gay people, they get mad when we talk about gay marriage. You know, what if a guy and a dog gets married, or a guy wants to marry a child? You say, oh no, these are not consenting adults. And I agree with you. But if two people, a man wants to marry his sister, these are two consenting adults. What they do in their bedroom is really none of our business. They're not bothering anybody. Now, you know what I'm saying, how would you agree on that? Would you be like, hey, more power to you? For some people who stated that they wouldn't care if their child came out homosexual. Okay. What if both your children wanted to, you know what I'm saying, have intercourse, you know, wanted to marry each other when they got older? How would you feel about that? Would you be like, oh, they're, you know, as long as they love each other, it shouldn't matter? No, you're going to be repulsed by that, you know, and that's natural. You know what I'm saying? For people that have a consanguineous relationship, you know. But we can say that, yes, society, especially royalty and these monarchs in society, these super well rich people have you know what I'm saying, practiced this method to keep it all in their bloodline. But, you know what I'm saying, us in a modern society, we reject it. But would you fight for their rights for people that have an ancestral relationship? Would you fight for their rights? And a lot of people in the gay community feels that homophobes reject homosexuality because of the Bible. Oh, the Bible says, and that's the reason why people are doing it. But the Bible also justifies slavery, but also the Bible people also use the Bible to justify the abolishing slavery too. So I think people reject homosexuality. That has nothing to do with the Bible. They may use the Bible as a crutch, but it's deeper than that. It's just the same way we reject incest and reject pedophilia. The Bible, I'm not, you know what I'm saying, I'm not an expert on the Bible and whether there's a passage that reject incest or not, but I'm not aware of it. You know, we all have to admit that the earth got populated through incestual relationships, whether you believe in the Bible or not. There had to have been a time where there's been so few Homo sapiens walking this earth that they had no choice but to, you know, get it on with their bloodline. And then in early societies, when the world was well populated, I learned this in my anthropology class, that these tribes rejected ancestral relationships, just like they rejected pedophilia, and just like a lot of these early tribes rejected homosexuality, felt that wasn't beneficial to their culture. And this was before the Bible was read. So you think that the, you know, Native Americans, before they were exposed to the Bible, you know, these Apache warriors, did they agree upon with gay relationships? I'm like, how did they feel? Did Did they kill homosexuals in England? This is something we have to look into. And now going back into the animal thing, you know, homosexuals and people who support the gay community must understand the psychology on why some heterosexuals are, you know, repulsed with gay sex. You know, if I'm just walking down the street and two guys kissing each other, I'm gonna flinch up. It's going to make me uncomfortable. The same way if I'm burning my hand, if my hand comes across fire, I'm gonna you know what I'm saying, yank up like that. It's like an automatic, it's like an involuntary reaction for me to see two guys kissing, and just, you know, I can't help the way I feel about that. You know what I'm saying, and how I observe it and so forth. And even still, we say that there's gay animals or whatever, then we have to understand that there may be some animals that reject homosexuality too. Like, for instance, let's say you have a pack of wild baboons. One of the baboons is gay and wants to get it on and with another one. These other male baboons look at this dude and you're like, hey, you know what I'm saying, what the fuck is this guy doing? And they may kill him and throw his lifeless body down the ravine. So if we're going by, you know, animals and what animals are doing, if men, if some human beings was to beat up and cripple or kill this guy because they found out he's a homosexual, the same way animals will do it, you know, could we say, hey, that's natural for them to do it? You know, the animals have done it. Also, with observing the homosexual behavior of animals, we don't know if these animals are playing around or what they're doing. You know, we can't. It's like I saw something about one elephant touched another elephant's penis with his trunk. You know, a male elephant. You're like, oh, that's homosexual. We don't know that animals play around with each other, sometimes in a very homoerotic way that we'll consider that, hey, they're homosexual. I've seen that, like dolphins, two male dolphins swimming together with their penis out. It's not enough evidence. It's not conclusive enough to say that these people these animals are engaging in homosexual acts, that they want to fuck each other. Animals are weird, you know. There's a lot about animals we don't know because we don't really know their thought process. And hence, imagine if an animal observed us, you know, and can really process in certain information. If two birds are watching a football game and what is going through their heads, they're like, oh wow, these guys are wearing tight clothes. A guy is bent over, got his ass in another guy's crotch, saying hut hut hype. They're tackling each other. They're slapping each other on the ass. You know, they're going into that locker room and having a shower. I'm like, these birds or an animal observing this could be like, hey man, these dudes are gay as fuck. You know what I'm saying? But us as humans, hey, we know that this is not homosexual activity. But an animal, if he has the ability to process this information, how would he make out of it? Same way we look at an animal or insect, like, oh, they're homosexuals. Look at them, they're rubbing up against each other with their penis. They can just be doing some kind of weird male bonding type thing. Like, there's no shame in an animal's game. Shit, they walk around with their penis out. So you can have one gorilla touching another gorilla's penis, we're like, oh, that's nice and firm. You know, you're going to get a lot of women with that, you know, and so forth. It don't mean that they're gay. It's just that they're animals, you know. They don't reason and they don't think about stuff the way we do. They don't look at people saying, well, they think we're gay because we're doing this and so forth. And as I said, there's so many things that the animal kingdom does that we don't do and we should not do. Like in the male, especially in the mammal kingdom, a lot of men don't take care of their young. You know, in some cases, the female has to protect their young against their fathers, particularly with tigers. Male tigers are known to kill their offspring for no apparent reason. They haven't figured out the reason why the female has to constantly protect her offspring against her male counterpart. Bald eagles, you know, will eat their young. You know, our national bird, if it needs be, if it's hungry enough, and if it's it will eat its young. Also, well, that's why Benjamin Franklin wanted our national bird to be a turkey, but that's another story. And some animals will kill their young if they're unable to take care of them. You know, if it's cold, it's the winter time, and they know they have to feed their young, and you know, and they don't have enough energy, they may kill their young or wound their young and put their young out there in Front Street so a scavenger would get on it, and then they'll turn around and kill that scavenger. You know, so and animals are known to rape each other. That's why them ducks got them corkscrew penises. If you know about that, ducks are real big rapists. And we know that animals have sex for pleasure, just like human beings will have sex for pleasure, not because it's mating season, but how they do it is like, yeah, an animal, you know, when he has sex, you know, he hits it and quits it. You know, these are animals don't keep the same sexual partner. Only very few. The jackal is like the only animal that scientists have observed that has the same sexual partner for life. But other than that, the animals jump from sexual partner to sexual partner, just like human beings though. But is it right? You know what I'm saying? Animals, you know, just like me having sex with a female, up and leaving and not saying a word to her and just going about my very business. Most females would consider me a dog for this. That's why they call male dogs, because we have animal-like behavior. So, you know what I'm saying? So, is it right for a guy to be a dog? Is it right for a guy to rape somebody because the animal kingdom does this? This is things we must look about. So, I'm sorry, you can't use that theory about, oh, it's natural because nature does it, and we should do it, you know what I'm saying, or it's okay for us to do it. I'm like, no. And now we're going to the whole thing about, is homosexual natural? Some people have said that, yeah, I think Antoine Donson answered that question, because let's say he does have a lot of feminine features. It does seem apparent this guy should have been born a female. I can understand right now he's trying to reject his homosexual urges since he's become a Hebrew Israelite. But some people say that, yeah, these guys are born gay, that it may be a defect, like someone born with an extra chromosome, you know. And that's one of the main reasons why we reject incestual relationships, because of because there's a high percentile of that child being born with an extra chromosome or whatever. But I don't have, you know what I'm saying, I'm not going to give my opinion on whether these homosexuals are defective human beings or whatever. I don't have enough evidence to give an honest and accurate opinion. But all right, thanks for watching.